Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
Welcome to the show, guys. This is the How Did They Grow podcast, and today we have on Machin Matthews. Machin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My man, happy to be connected. So I'm a father of four. I'm a business development guy. I love marketing and sales and all that, but I really got into computers and web design and websites in like the late 90s. And it became a career about halfway through that. I worked in data centers for years. I got stuck in the cubicle and the rat race of what's the next big thing that I could go get or obtain, or the raise or the corner office. And then I eventually just hated it and built what I learned. What I learned, and I wrote a thank you letter to that company and said, thanks for everything you've taught me, even though I wanted to say, I hate this place, I hope it crumbles. And I took that experience and started building web hosting companies, web design companies, tech support, software development. And a lot of my time is in training, online, social media marketing, business development, web development, software development, all the fun stuff that we get to do with a little bit of nerd life to get a paycheck. I've got a special needs kid. I've got four kids. All of them are pretty out of control, but I love them. They're beautiful, brilliant kids. But one of them's a non-speaker. He's autistic, my youngest son. And so that's been a whole experience in my journey in learning how to build patents and language and understand the nuance of language and everything like that. That gave me some pretty cool stuff to build into software. So yeah, that's me, and I could go on for a million hours. If you got any more questions, we can just talk about me all this next half hour.
Amazing. I
hate talking about me. I hate when someone puts you on the spot and you have to talk about yourself. But I appreciate it.
It's okay. Yeah. Let's get into how this all started. You said it was in the 90s, right? So I'm assuming you were never the guy who was going to work a 9 to 5.
Oh, I really thought that was the way to go. I mean, in elementary school and middle school and high school, I thought I would be an astronaut and I would go to NASA. I would go to college and get a degree in physics or mathematics, and then I would go to NASA. And then things didn't work out. About the same time testosterone hits, like as a teenager, I just got rambunctious, and I don't want to say that I was like a real troublemaker or anything, but I got in fights. I took off from home. I wasn't really trying to cause trouble, but I was looking for love. I was looking for appreciation. I was looking for guidance. I was looking for boundaries. My parents were like, real hippy dippy, real, hey, whatever, man, you can be out till, whatever, just come back when the streetlights come on. Other than that, you're cool. And I was born in the 80s. I was born in the late 80s. So in the 90s, I was in middle school, elementary school, all that. I learned about the telephone systems and making free phone calls and, computers, like really running the network in schools and stuff. And it was just really exciting. There was no limits and nobody made fun of my name, made fun of my hair, which now I don't mind so much. But when we're kids, it's pretty tough. And yeah, so that's really how I got into computers, is just being around that. My dad was in telecom, being in the network. So like when the internet became publicly available, I got online and I haven't looked back since. Bulletin board systems, forums, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, got into cryptocurrency super early, 2011, 2012, we built one of the first cryptocurrency casinos available, like in existence, and poker and all kinds of stuff. Did all that kind of stuff, which is really fun. Sold t-shirts and stickers and still have trivia websites and all kinds of stuff on the crypto side, because it's just interesting if you're in the nerd life stuff. But the big part of social media was taking and just meeting people that had that similar interest like we've met, and just having a chat with them. We just find people and then go, so what's your big dream? What are you about? And that's how I was able to take, that corporate 9-to-5 side that you might never quite expect it. But I mean, I was dreaming to get a good job. I would love to have a good job. I'd love to make $30,000 a year and, whatever. Like, I just had these tiny dreams. I wish I could make $10 an hour. And I really sold myself short. I didn't realize what was possible. Other people believed me. Other people said that.
Yeah.
And anyhow, I could go on forever. I love telling stories.
Amazing. So tell us what you do now. Kind of give us like a 30-second elevator pitch of what you do now.
Okay, so I built a hybrid web agency, consulting agency, where I put software, web development, content management, things like that, as well as anything tech support, web agency at someone's fingertips for various businesses, local and international. My real niche and my real love comes from working with a lot of my local businesses, places I can travel to here in Texas. I'm in South Texas. And we not only like build the websites and do all that kind of content management and everything, but just take that tech support overwhelm off of them. There's CRMs and there's marketing and there's direct mail and there's SEO and there's all this stuff that if you've been around it your whole life, maybe it's not that overwhelming. Maybe learning how something works, like AI comes around and everyone's saying, go figure out AI, but you are a plumber, maybe it's a little difficult to make the curve. And so I like to be there, kind of like how a lot of businesses have an attorney or a CPA. Yeah, just a growth partner is what I've heard in terms of consulting. So it's a consulting, hybrid, web agency, web hosting platform. Years ago, I wanted to replace like the Wix and the GoDaddies and all that, but I realized that's really not the mission. I love just connecting with these local businesses and just being part of their growth. That's the exciting part, is seeing others grow.
Amazing. So I think that's kind of a nice way to transition into the next question, which is, how are you only working local? Like, is local your focus? Do you want to go? Do you do anything with people? Like, do you get clients online, basically, social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Through all over the place. Like, my business partners, business owners of various projects are in Ukraine, India, all over the world, because why not? Why not partner with people who get things or have skills to provide the world? It doesn't matter where you come from, anywhere in the world. When I started in the data center, I saw like 15-year-old kids in Brazil building Counter-Strike and this back before Ark Survival, all these video games. And they were building web servers, and I had bought video game web servers as a kid, and I saw these kids, and I'm like in my teens and 20s at this point, and they're making $100,000 a month selling web servers or whatever. And I just thought, man, I've got to be able to do that. I lost your question. I started thinking about these 13-year-old kids. I just started thinking about Ronaldo and anyhow, all these kids from Brazil. What was your question?
The question was, you kind of got into it, but you diverted. The question was, what is like obviously you said you love to work with these brick and mortar businesses in your local area. That's amazing. But is that something you've transitioned into? Is it something you're transitioning out of in terms of trying to reach the online space more generally?
If I'm speaking, my story versus like maybe what I would like to share in that is a little different. My story is like, I started meeting people specifically on LinkedIn. I was looking for people in the data center. I wanted to build business that way. So I met with people on LinkedIn. I would connect with them. I would send a drip message. I would send the first message, a connection message. I'd follow up. I would send funny gifts. So I created strategies and tactics for how to message people, and not just how to message them, but how to be seen as a professional so that you could have your profile highlighted, be taken serious in that 2 to 3 seconds when somebody sees you, and then see what you have to offer. So they'll give you that 5 seconds. And then if what you have to offer helps them, then they would see the whole bio and they could click the link to your website, and maybe they'll go back and read that message, or they'll see when you say happy birthday, they'll actually say, who is that? I know who that is. I know Mike. Of course I know Mike. He mailed me email or whatever. And so I took this route of connecting with as many people as possible. And I mean, 1 year, probably 2015, I did like 1,100 Zoom calls. And like 2018 or so, I think 2017 or 2018, I did like 1,200. And it wasn't just me. It would be like me and a team of people, because I would love to do it with a room full of people. Get your team, get your, in affiliate marketing and network marketing, a lot of the people in those groups where I would coach and consult, they would have their teams on the line. Or it'd be people looking to do social media, maybe showing up to a class or looking to build their website or update their blog on WordPress, and doing it in a group setting is a little scary, but it's also way awesome if you have the group energy behind that. And so I'll share this with you, and I share it with everybody, but no one listens. But I've built all of my businesses by being local to wherever the area is I serve. So it's not that hard for me to have a Dallas office and an Austin office and a San Antonio office, which are 3 metropolitan cities in Texas. It's not that hard for me to have an LA office or a mailing address, a New York office or a mailing address. It's not that hard for me to hire someone part-time to go pick up paperwork or meet somebody $7 to $15 an hour for courier or face-to-face meetings. And so I've scaled my businesses multiple ways. What I'm doing right now is basically showing up in those places where I have a presence. And I do that through mostly through online advertising and the newspaper. And I get my phone to ring and get a conversation going. Try to get a consultation, get a call going, have someone know that the problems they have are problems that I can solve. And what I found is it's not so much about what I do now. It's what I did 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7, 6, 5, 4. In 5 minutes, I can go make 10 new friends. But if I treat those 10 friends right for the next 5 years, and I stay in touch with them every 90 days or so, and I have a method for doing that other than just, look, I posted on Facebook. But there's actually some strategy, like, look, here's something you're interested in. Here's a newsletter, an email, or here's a phone call.
Yeah.
My number one way is staying in touch. When you stay in touch for that long period of time, that reputation pays for itself. And so this thing happens, and I've talked about it a lot, but when you talk about one thing forever, like I love talking about business automation, I love talking about direct mail and marketing, but mostly it's about building relationships that stick. And when you talk about that for a long time, other people who know people who are interested in what you have to talk about will tell people about you when those people mention that thing. Yeah. So when somebody talks about direct mail or postcards or online advertising or something like that, people mention me. And then when that happens, go make friends with the top influencers, the top CEOs, the top writers in your industry, and then have them mention you and see if that doesn't make it a little easier to get a new client. So that's what I do a lot of. I do the advertising, I do the paid. You'll see an ad on Facebook, but the ad on Facebook doesn't convert as well as after you've seen the ad on Facebook and your cousin says that we're the company to use. You use us because you've seen it, you believe it. So a lot of what I'm doing now is that engagement and connection.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
Definitely. And it all ties back down to, because the whole point of doing that is to kind of build this know, like, trust feeling, right? And Google themselves, they did a study where they found that before someone can buy your quote unquote high ticket service on the internet, they need to watch, I don't know if you heard about it, they need to watch about 7 hours of your content over 11 different touch points, over 4 different social media platforms, right? So this is like the average, depending on obviously how good you are with your messaging and your branding and all that. So that just shows you how much trust is at an all-time low in the online space in general, because there's always people trying to get a quick one-on-one. Someone, scamming is all over the place. Gurus are all over the place. So there's this rap, and it's getting harder and harder to get clients. So Google did this study. I don't know how long ago they did it. And obviously, what you're saying is on top of that. Like, it's on a higher level than that. Because if my mom or my sister or my brother tells me, hey, go to Machin, he can do your websites and automations, I'm trusting my mom over, scrolling on TikTok.
It's called a triangle of trust. When you can establish a triangle of trust, you can kind of bypass some of those hours and hours. You do need someone to see 7-8 hours of your footage and have 40 or 50 touches. And so there's kind of two ways to do that. One is every day you go like, hey, do you want to buy a new water system? Hey, do you want to buy a new house? Hey, do you want to, whatever it is that you sell, whatever your product is. And if some people in high ticket sales, they go from one thing, then they try another thing, then they try another thing. And when they do that, then they lose all the close people, all their friends and cousins aren't recommending them. And they're going, well, why aren't y'all buying from me? And why aren't you telling your friends? It's because trust gets lost. What's that?
I said, what do you mean by try another thing? I'm curious.
Let's say like a butterfly, like they land and they go, hey, I'm going to do high ticket sales for this affiliate marketing course. And then they go, affiliate marketing wasn't for me, but I seen this guy online and he's selling vitamins. Okay, I'm going to go do vitamins now. Oh, vitamins didn't work for me, but the people in the vitamin group, that company closed. And now I'm at this other group and we do hair stuff and we do makeup stuff. And then people just switch. In the high ticket world, it happens a lot when it's high ticket sales. Good salespeople can sell anything. People without training will often emulate what they think they're supposed to be doing and then not get results. It takes 6 weeks on average for someone dedicated and skilled who knows what to say and has the statements all figured out and everything to make that first sale. But most people will give up in like 4 weeks. So that's what I mean by when you skip around, you lose the trust, you lose the experience. So if you find something, you can stick with it for 6 weeks. It's really difficult to stick with it for 6 weeks. So start with 10 minutes a day. And if you can stick with it for 10 minutes a day for 2 or 3 days, what could you do with 5 days? And so I like to bring people on that kind of journey where we're hitting that friendship timer to get that triangle of trust. So we don't lose trust with the people around us that can give us the best business. I've been doing this 20 plus years. I've done the same exact thing. So my triangle of trust is pretty big. Even if I go mess with cryptocurrency, I didn't lose a lot of trust. Even though it's like everybody's sketched out. If you just say the word, I've had bank accounts just, oh, sorry, you got to leave now. It's like, it's not even. So anyhow, what I was trying to say is there's like a chess game going on, and people take a look around and on social media and they're consuming content. And maybe some things are entertaining. There's a couple different ways to entertain. I call it infotainment, right? Information, education, entertainment. But one of those is educational. When we educate people, we show people that we're an authority on a subject. And a lot of us get stuck in education, like, oh, let me educate. Oh, let me educate. Oh, let me educate. Oh, let me educate. And we forget that being personal, sharing, my story about being a father of 4, sharing my story about taking off from home at 13 years old and being homeless and that sort of stuff that now is kind of old. Like lots of people have been alcoholics and been homeless and figured it out. So don't be a bum. That can't be an excuse for everybody. Is it an excuse, a disease, all that? That's a different conversation. I was afflicted with a disease that I allowed to stop me. But when people find out that there was, there's like storytelling cycles. There's like, I faced a big demon and then I had a mentor and then I overcame that demon and then I lost everything again. And I didn't give up and I took all the lessons from before and I built again. And then I failed and then I tried again. And then I fell and I tried again until I figured it out to where I can have groceries. I can work from home. I can have this dream life that a lot of us are chasing because you share the motivational stuff on social media to kind of get people to stay sticky, to kind of come around. And we share conversational stuff to have engagement, like questions and get people talking. And all that stuff is so strategic that sometimes we forget. It's more about, instead of knowing everything to say, it's more about like, how about finding a dream group of people you want to work with and then go listen to them. The trick to social media, in my experience, and telling all these stories and getting all this engagement and everything is in engaging. My wife now smashes me on social media. But I used to get videos with, a 1 million+ hits, everything would have 1,000 whatevers. My wife's stuff, is like 3,000 shares, 5,000 likes, millions, half a millions of views, all kinds of stuff. And she doesn't generate an income. Hers is impact driven. If she wanted to generate income, she definitely could. She pays for plenty with that, but like, she's not trying to do $10,000 a month. She's trying to give $10,000 a month to causes and things like that. And so when people find out what you're about, there's no limit to the impact. There's no limit to the income. And all we got to do, there's billions of people. All you got to do is go find like 5 of them, go contact them, go engage with their stuff, go put like 5 words. I call it social media CPR. 5 words, 5 groups. Like if I was using Facebook or LinkedIn, 5 words or more on 5 different posts. And you go in like, hey, cool. So love see you travel. Stuttering. So I would say something like, hey, beautiful sailboats down in Puerto Vallarta. Are you still out there? Not that hard. Just start a conversation with somebody. If they say, eek, back off. Who said you can message me? Why are you trying to talk to me on social media? What are you, some sort of freak? I just move on. You know what I mean? Like, there are 3 types of people. There are nice people. There are rude people. Right? And then there's honest people. Honest people are great in business. They'll be like, wait for my tax refund, and then I'm calling you. And tax refund will be here on the 1st, so call me on the 30th. Let's make sure we get this down. And then on the 30th, they answer your call on the 1st ring. And then there's nice people who say all those same things and then send you to voicemail and forward it because they don't want to hurt your feelings. So if we have a system of exactly what to say, I have like 9 or 10 questions that I say and go through, and I can connect with people on social media. It gives me a really, programmatic way for me to say, if I spend 10 minutes on social media, what's my return on investment here? Not just financially, but how many friends did I get? How many followers did I get? How many engagements did I get? And then being able to track that and do something about it, post regularly, is difficult for most of us. But to be able to have, what I do is I have someone supplement all of that content, and then I go live, and then I go on my podcast, and then I go live on YouTube, and I create an additional energy, especially the personal stuff, Facebook stories, Instagram stories, all the personal stuff. LinkedIn, I'm posting about business, but I'm direct messaging about happy Friday. Just thinking of you. How's it going? It's been 90 days since we talked, and you just got that new job. How's it going? And then take a little note. I got a little note here about Mike. Take a note, because short pencil is better than long memory. And then we have something to talk about. How's it going? Anyhow, I can rant forever. I love this stuff. The honest people tell you how it is. Nice people tell you what you want to hear, and the rude people, you can just block them. You can just move on. Who cares?
Definitely. Amazing to kind of the way you broke down your strategy for our audience. That's amazing, and some really insightful stuff. So if I will put it in a couple sentences, I will say you do a lot of outbound. You post content to show yourself and show that you're authentic, and that gets you some inbound as well. Did you mention anything? And you get a lot of referrals.
Yeah, social media is less about, I think, the referrals. Like, sure, you'll get the follows or whatever. People are creepy on social media. They'll watch you for years and then act like they were there the whole time, And so you got to say it, you got to share it. But most of the inbound customers I get through social media, like, I'll just take a look real quick because I know I got something today. We'll be like, here's a voice message just asking if we can update blogs, or if we do that. Like, usually it's questions. So if you teach on something and then you offer people to ask their questions, there's kind of a strategy for the engagement side. That's why I said conversational posts, things that are conversational, whether it's which way do you like your bacon, less crispy or super crispy, right? That's kind of cheesy. That's 10 years ago. People did that for engagement, but even still today it works. Or if you're saying, ask me anything, like my wife says, ask me anything about our special needs children. People are asking their questions. She takes those questions and goes and puts them in her stories. Sometimes, I'm gonna rat her out right here. Sometimes, I hope somebody's hearing this. It's one of her fans. She'll start and add her own first questions. someone and ask me anything, it's hard to get, strangers to ask you questions. She'll have 1,000 story views. Go add your first own 1 or 2 questions. And here come all the other questions. Oh yeah, I got a question too. And then you can feature those people and shout them out. And what happens, I got a really cool story for you. Do we have time for one of my short stories that only lasts 30 minutes? No, I'll try to make it short. Do you have time for a quick one?
Let's go for a quick one.
Life-changing. This is how social media changed my life. Absolutely. Yeah. So my wife has a follower, and her follower asked her if she knows somebody who can update websites, because she thought that her website looked cool and social media looked cool. Wife tells her about me. I call them, I go visit. We decide to build their e-commerce website. This person, we update the website, we publish their website. They're selling rocks. No joke. Rocks, painted rocks. Cool stuff, but who knew you could sell painted rocks? And a couple weeks later, I get a phone call from them saying, hey, I've got someone who wants to talk to you. So in 3rd grade, my dad and my stepmom split up, and I lost my stepbrother, and I never could get in touch with them. This guy, this customer, is a cousin of my stepbrother. So after 30 years, I got reunited because I'm out there posting on social media, taking a selfie saying, don't give up, you can do it today. I got out of bed, so can you. You know what I mean? Just get out there and say your message. Just get out there and do it. I found a customer. That customer found a customer, and my cousin and my stepbrother. And so families can be reunited. Incomes can be patched. Anything can happen with a little bit of, I don't know, earnest hunger for making an impact. Like, we have to, I wanted it. I thought I deserved it, but I didn't know that what was on the other side of it. There was nothing to make it worthwhile. For our business, we donate $1 to our local food bank for every transaction we have. That makes us talk aboutable, or what have you. But also it makes it to where I have the energy to get up in the morning and go make that post. Because the post isn't about, am I going to get another sale today? The post is, am I going to create 7 more meals for someone in my community that's going to go to bed hungry if we don't do it? And so it really puts some real passion, some real mission behind the, what can I do? What can I get paid to do? I can cut grass. I could start a landscaping company. Is that gonna, will I give that up and go try something else? Or is what's on the other side of me getting the income, the $10,000 a month, is what's there? Some people say, is it worth it? Or they go, what's your why? Or what have you. I pretend I got a little genie and a lamp, and I say, hey, buddy, give me what I want. He's usually like, most people want income. Most people want, pay off a house. Most people want more impact, whatever. For me, I tell him what I want. Go for it. I thought you were saying, I tell him what I want. And then I say, all the way down to why. Why do I want that? And if I can nail it down to exactly why I want to go donate to the food bank and why I want to close the business, then it makes it really easy for me to see, what are the obstacles? Why haven't I? Make a list of those. What are the outcomes? What happens when I do that? Feel that way. And then I can make the plan. And the plan is usually a result. I will feel this way. I will get this thing. And it's just a series of actions. We're going to jump in? Okay. So
I was going to say, I want to kind of get into you and the business and everything, but let's kind of keep it quick and short and kind of so we can end well. What is the goal for you, man, in terms of 2025? I know we're 3 months into 2025. Q1 is almost over, but in terms of for Mason Matthews, what is the goal for you and your brand on social media in 2025? Just kind of break it down for us.
Yeah, so I am starting some more. So I kind of took 2 months off, which most people can't do. But just in the first 3 months, I've still kept that income over $10K a month is part of what our discussion was about and setting up this podcast. My dad got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in January, and he passed away in February. So December, he got sick on Christmas, and so I went to visit, and then it was just a whirlwind. And so back in October, I was planning on relaunching some education platforms and things like that. And so now that I've had a little bit of time to decompress, as I'm setting out to what the big dream is for this year. It's a full education platform on
like courses.
Courses. I've always done free courses, and so now I'm doing it with my own app and everything in the store. I've used Kajabi. I've used all the learning platforms. I've done all the cool software things. I wanted to do something a little different off of those platforms. Facebook just told us like all of our live videos are being deleted, and I streamed live like 700 days in a row. And so it's stuff like that that's just a little frustrating when you're a content creator and you don't have control of that. But it's cool because I can download it and I can repurpose them. And now with AI, I can throw it in AI and get all my clips and everything. But my goal for this year is, as we build Funnel, my brand FunnelJet, and we're growing our client base there, I want to have 100 new learners there. I did it in 2019. I grew 100 learners at an academy, all certified them in one thing, which at that time was cryptocurrency. I want to certify some people in getting a startup off the ground and help people start. So that's my big goal: help 100 people to start their business in 2025. I kind of cut myself short on time, but hey, sleep faster.
No,
like, we got this.
You can definitely do it. I'm curious. Like you said, you did 100 in 2019. Why still 100 now? Why not more than that?
So there's 3 ways. When you ask me the goal, I could easily say, I could say 10,000, because that's a goal too. But I have 3 ways to doing my goals. One is my guarantee. And so I'm telling you the guarantee. I'm guaranteeing 100 because I know it's possible. I know exactly how to do it. I know what to say. I know what to do. I know where to go. I go on social media. I go into a group. I make friends. I post content into that group that's something similar to something I'm passionate about. And then I tell that group, hey, I launched something. I launched a course. And then they come buy the course. And so I can do that predictably. So I have 3 goals. One's the promise, one's the goal, and then one's the stretch. Like I don't know. Everybody has stretch goals, but we should have a goal that we don't know how it's possible. So if you want that goal that I don't know how it's possible, how about we get that 5,000 signups? It's more than 100, but I don't really know. I don't even know how I would scale that, because I like having one-to-one meetings. You know what I mean? I like 10 minutes to get to know somebody.
The high ticket?
Yeah. Well, at the small end, it's 5K or 15K on that platform. And it's essentially everything with the training, the platform, a weekly call, a monthly call, an accountability spreadsheet kind of thing, and WhatsApp access to have me on cell phone to go, yes, buy that domain. Yes, just have somebody on.
Yeah, definitely. Man, so what's the plan to get those? Let's kind of up it. Let's not say 100 for now. What's the plan to get those 500 people?
Okay, so 500. Right now, the plan's pretty straightforward. We do prospecting. So I build a nice list of people based on what I want to connect with. And then, so like social media, I'll go like a dream list, right? Who's the dream?
I want us to kind of break it down for the audience, man. So like you said, you're going to build a prospecting. Is that like, you know what an ICP is? An ideal client. So
yes, same thing. Okay. So we have our personas, we have our ICPs or profiles. Okay. In this case, you take an ICP and you know about that, and based on that, you're going to know maybe where they hang out or who they listen to or what their favorite podcast or whatever. So I usually go into those circles. So if I have a favorite podcaster, I'll go to there, and whoever's commenting and whoever's stories are active and everything, those are going to be the people that I'm connecting with, because they already have the same kind of vibe. You know, I maybe won't go connect to them and say like, hey, will you be my client? But instead what I do is a couple different lists, 3 lists, right? So there's the list of everybody whoever said yes before but didn't sign up. So all those people are pretty, as long as I'm staying in touch with those are people that I need to be asking. Then there's my dream list. So that's the list of the people that we're talking about that are in our ICP. And then I'm going to take a list of everybody who's engaging with my content. So if somebody's giving me a like or commenting, they're going on a list. And those are the people that I engage with. And when I engage with them, I ask for something that's usually really easy to get before I ask for credit card. If I'm going directly for if I'm selling $15,000 service, I show up to someone's office with a report and everything like that. for their business, and I say what I can do and show them. Never, ever has gone super great that way. It's part of the deal for some kinds of businesses, but what goes really great is when I do what I'm talking about here, make the list and then send some direct mail. When we send like a postcard and it's maybe handwritten or at least appears so, I use like an auto pen thing so my signature goes on all of them, it looks legit. That gets me in the door. So now I'm physically inside the door. I like to do something like, for my high ticket clients, I'll set my budget for these guys and send chocolate and a brownie, like a chocolate brownie or chocolate cookie, and a pack of like this Simply Pop popcorn. And I send a funny message. I try to make people smile. And I say, here's something sweet and something healthy. And then usually I don't get a lot of commotion back from that. And then I run ads to that same audience with imagery that follows up with the postcards. So the postcards will have like pigs on it with wings. And the ads will say like, we make things happen if you'll let us. And so in this case, I'm going to employ, I haven't done this exact, what I'm telling you. I've done what I'm telling you right now. I haven't built a strategy for how I'm going to get these 500 people outside of, I have the platform. I've got subscribers and all that. We go on social media, we connect with new people, we build these lists. I run ads to people. It's kind of a, if I say, hey, join my newsletter and you see an ad, nobody goes, oh my God. Rarely do people go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to join that newsletter and sign up for it. So what happens if somebody sees that Mike and Machen have this newsletter for the best podcasters in the universe, and they see that ad, even if they don't sign up, and then I send them a postcard and I text them and I say, hey, just making sure you got my package in the mail. Or, hey, just curious, would you be open to joining my birthday club where I can celebrate your birthday? Or, hey, I celebrate the anniversary of businesses when they open. Or I'll put it like, you're the best landscaper ever. You're the best business ever. And I'll put that in merge fields, how we can do as marketers and automation, social media and all that. Those sorts of ways of sticking out is how I make that when I bring the report, they don't even care. Like they wouldn't care anyway. They're busy. Okay, cool. You did the work. You do what you say you will. Where do I sign? Where do you sign up? So yeah, direct mail, and then I social media butterfly. So I connect with people on social media, and then I try to hit them off of social media as quick as possible. So we build the content, we engage. I direct message. If I meet you on Facebook, I'm going to try to direct message you on LinkedIn. I'm going to try to text message you. And then that usually gets ignored. And then I'm going to direct mail you and try to hit you at where you live and get inside your house with a postcard that says, just thinking of you, or some creative or funny message, or send some chocolate, or whatever the budget allows for the campaign that I'm doing. Then you'll see an ad, and then you'll see direct mail. By showing up in this kind of way, you get two different responses. One is like, hang up, go away. Some people hate marketing. They hate when you market to them. They're creeped out when you know their name. And then there's the other people, my favorite clients. When you show up to the website, after I've marketed you like that, you get a text message from me, fully automated, but it goes, hey, Mike, saw you came by the website. Did you get what you're looking for? When we can market above and beyond, and I say, hey, come to my free business class. I'm looking over here because I can't find them. But my direct mail piece will be, do all that I'm talking about, that is social media driven, that is active marketing. And it takes about 20 minutes a day to do that. But then on top of all that, I will just blast to every small business owner in our area a postcard of the big 5x11 postcards. And it'll say free masterclass on X date. And I'll go set up in a location. I'll put on some cameras. I'll bring some mics and I'll teach it. And I do that every year, 2 or 3 times a year. And by teaching it and by being in the room with the best companies, and your clients are on billboards, not where I started, but that's where I'm at now. My clients are the biggest clients in town. They're the fastest growing in the state. They are whatever. By having those people in the room, their friends, their cousins, their whatever, that triangle of trust starts to be established. So now we go post about it, or we send the replays out on how to launch your business, or what to do for the new year, or how to improve your social media calendar, or whatever it is that we're doing. for me, it's a lot of the time it's storytelling and helping businesses to build their brand and get out there and have a website that encourages people to take action with them.
Yeah.
And you have to do that to show people that you can do it. You can't just tell them. Just show me. Don't tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you did. You showed me. When I signed up with you, 1 million people asked me for a podcast. 90% of them miss it. Okay. When I signed up with you, you said, "Hey, Machen, would you like to do this podcast? Here's the details." And I said, "Yes, let's do the podcast." You said, "Not so fast. There's a big application process, yada, yada, yada." It took me 3 minutes. It wasn't that big of an application, but it set the expectations. There's a little bit of work. I went through the work and I got a text message. I got an email. I got a calendar invite. I got a WhatsApp message. I went, these guys get marketing. They get how to calendar. I bet he's not late to this meeting. We still had calendar issues, you and I, because of the time change. But I knew that you were serious and I knew that my time wouldn't be wasted. And so when we show up in business like that, people will show up and do business with us. If you said this podcast costs $100, $1,000, $5,000, $50,000, I probably still would have figured out a way to do it, because the value versus whenever you said it earlier, you touched on it earlier, you said like some people fly by night and some people disappear. There's all sorts of charlatans that can charge any price from, especially in the app world, it's like magic numbers like $2,000 or $10,000. If somebody just gives you those prices to build your app, just run. If they just give you like a flat number like $2,000 or $10,000, they don't know what they're doing. It should be like you're constructing a house and you should see what everything costs. But anyhow, yeah, I love this stuff. To put a big bow on it, let's go out, make friends, turn those friends to family as fast as possible. Part of that is acknowledging people, celebrating people, saying thank you, liking their status, loving their status. Don't like it. That's a crime. Love it. Give it the big heart. Give it the big love. Give it the share. Add 5 words because you're not lazy. You want them to comment on your post? Give it 5 words, because most of these platforms are pay to play. They want your ad money, or they want a good participant of the platform that will bring eyeballs to the platform. So to be a good participant, go make some new friends, engage on their stuff, post every single day or whatever makes sense, but regularly, consistently. Do it day after day, month after month, year after year, and the results will come day after day, month after month, year after year. It doesn't happen all at once. It has to happen consecutively.
Amazing. I think this has been amazing. There's a ton of value in different. And one thing I will say is like that strategy. I would definitely love to hear more about it another time. But that strategy you're talking about in terms of how to get that advertising and marketing, it's a lot of outbound. I'll definitely try to get you on another time to kind of break down why that is different and why you've seen to use that, why you chose to use that. But I think let me just end on this and ask you, what is one thing you wish I asked you on this podcast, Machen?
Ooh, that's a good question. One thing, oh wow, I'm not prepared for that. One thing I asked people that I really like to hear about is, what their line in the sand moment was when everything changed for them. And in business, everything changed for me when somebody asked me, a mentor, a friend, somebody I'd done business with, somebody I looked up to, somebody I would call if I was in jail or needed to borrow money or something, like somebody I really felt connected to, said, don't call me in 90 days. Because you're just going to call me in 90 days and you're going to say, I'm tired of making, $5,000 a month. I'm tired of being broke. You haven't shopped your worth. You haven't gone out there and updated all your profiles. You haven't gone and asked for the highest amount that you can get paid for what you're valuable for. I don't know what you're worth. I can't tell you what you're worth. I can't tell you what you should be charging per hour. You can figure it out. But the way to do it is to go out. And for me, I put my application into a consulting firm for the first time and said, I'll charge $150 an hour. And I got hired. And that changed my life. I drew a line in the sand. I said, I'm not worth I'm not wanting $15 an hour. I want $150 an hour. And I went and got that.
What year was this? How long ago was this?
That would have been 2013.
Wow.
So 12 years ago.
That was a line in the sand moment for you.
Yeah, I had babies at home and I was tired of being broke. And I couldn't figure out why I was so broke, and employers, a job wouldn't pay me what I was worth when I knew what I was capable of making and doing. And he said, I don't want to hear it. Don't call me back. And it was about 89 days later that I was about to call him, and I went. It wasn't that moment that he said it to me. It was that moment that he was going to be right, and I couldn't call him, and he wasn't going to answer because I was going to complain about the same thing. And I went and I said, I have to do this. And I started at what I call the reverse auctioneer method. I didn't really know what I was worth, but I said, hey, here's what you get. And it's all this. And here's a whole stack of everything I know and everything I'm good at. It was all just one thing. It was web hosting. It was just control panels, something really niche. I went, here's everything I'm good at. I went, nobody's going to want this or whatever. And the price is, and I named the highest price I could possibly want, $15,000, whatever it was. And they said yes. If nobody would have said yes that day, I would have dropped my price a little, 100, 90, 80, until I found my spot. And then once I got better at what I was doing, I would have raised my price the same way I did when I started a t-shirt company or any service-based business. I've had dozens of businesses. I've got a cool little business portfolio that does supplement some of the income. That's why I was able to take time off, because when you get subscriptions and you have annual payments and your value of what you provide far exceeds what you cost, and the mission that you have is bigger than the commission you make, I think nobody really smiles when you get paid. You're like, I should get paid more. And they go, that still feels a little like I paid a lot of money. And everybody gets results. That's just a sweet spot to be alive in. Like, it can't be more grateful. And it's all from making friends online. Put out some content, put out what I think, what I feel, what I love, what I'm passionate about. A couple of people engage with it. I click it and go, hey, Mike, how's things? And listen, and that's it. Make some friends. And they go, cool. Well, when you build that next company, when you want to go talk ham about direct mail and advertising and a full-on strategy and all that, call me, because I'm all about it. I love to talk about it. Anyhow, whatever I can do, I got a million ideas for business development and ways we can get it done. But the only thing that matters is actually getting it done. So put 10 minutes on the calendar and make it happen.
Amazing. This has been amazing. And as I said, hopefully we can have you on some other time to talk about that strategy.
Would love to.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?